It's on now. And you just left. I think. Yep, it's on. Here's my back. You want to see my back?
What? So the urinal.
What about it?
This toilet. Urinal. Stand up.
Okay, stand up.
Has a little tub underneath because sometimes it like drips, right?
Yeah, because sometimes it drips.
You notice some days like there's actually like pee in there, like an inch worth of pee. And other days it goes like a month and there's nothing wet in there.
I think it's because somebody's peeing in it.
That's what I think. I think I always thought it was baby head being an asshole.
Is there pee in it right now?
Yeah. Like a quarter inch of what looks to be piss in there.
It can't be leaking that much, so it's got to be somebody peeing in it.
Do you think when Justin's here he can't reach the urinal?
Oh, you know what? Maybe.
Should we get a step stool?
Well, we should put something in front of there so he doesn't have to pee in that bucket anymore.
So what about this Coleman LED Classic Lantern Special Edition Ultra Bright 200 lumens, long runtime 66 hours? What about it?
That's what I was looking at. If you put 8 batteries in there, it has 100 hours.
Yes, sir.
Of runtime.
So you can put 4 or 8, which is neat. And now
nobody uses D batteries anymore,
but you got to think of a battery. So whether it's AAA, A, C, or D, right? Same voltage. Size, you got to think of gas tank.
Yeah.
So you have more gas tank, so that's why it runs them. But I believe one of these will run on C's or D's. Now that's the Coleman. Now I've got the General Electric also. I believe that you should have those. Literally, I try to keep those in every room.
You can buy inserts.
Yes.
That'll put the smaller batteries.
You can also buy C and D inserts that you can put A batteries in, AA batteries into. But they work great, man. So in the old house, I would make it a point to read for an hour a night. I was reading, survival fiction and shit. And I would log how long I could run that light for. And about every 90 days, I would notice that it was kind of getting harder to read. So I'd put new batteries in it. But I mean, I would leave that motherfucker on. Like when I'd go to the shop and work, I'd be gone. I'd leave it on. And we abuse the fuck out of them. They work good. With that said, and typically they're like $25, right? You can get them at Walmart, Costco, Sam's Club. So you guys know what we're talking about. I'm sure Amazon has several options. We were using these fucking old school ones here, like this. But man, like LED technology, they come out with something. They basically have LED technology stacked up 4 years back.
Yeah.
They're ready. They're producing them. They're building them. They're not giving them to you because they're still selling you the bullshit. I see all kinds of shit from SHOT Show right now about how fucking compact and small these lights are and how much runtime, and they'll run on multiple battery systems. You guys should have some of these LED lights. Everybody wants to prepare for, the Russians are coming and, you need a Browning 50 cal and a quad mount for the back of your fucking technical Toyota truck. And really, you're more apt to have a power outage. That's your first one. Your power outage, loss of job, snowed in. So have some lights because that's going to be the main thing that, first thing calms your kids down. Cold, hunger, light. And then, shit like that. So
we had power outage last week.
I saw Gina's post. The power went out, so you guys left the house out in the snowstorm?
Oh, God. She feels like she has to check on everybody. It's like, look, the old lady has lived here 30 years before we even thought about coming to Tennessee.
She got to be 100 somehow.
She's just fine. She's going to be finer than we are.
They wrote about her in the Bible, fucking Methuselah and shit.
And calling your mom to see if it's snowing over there, because her mom was at her aunt's house. I'm like, calling your...
So did she have to leave and go into town to call her mom?
Well, we had to drive. You have to drive out to the road to get cell phone signal. And so...
Which is a trip, because if she crashes off the road, she can't call you to tell you...
I went with her, and when we got off the road, I'm like... When we got to the road, I go, there's no way the power is out in Waverly.
Every time she makes one of those posts, I want to go... It's a good thing Jeff has a 4-wheel drive truck. I'll see him bright and early Monday.
But I'm like, there's no way the power is out in Waverly. I bet the power is still on in Waverly. So we went into Waverly and the power was still on, and then we came back. But I have the Pelican Rouse system.
That's neat, man.
And
every time I've seen it a few times.
It will. It's got 2 LED lights on it.
Light panels, right?
And they are fucking bright as fuck. I've used that thing 6 times since I got it. But when I put it in the house, you don't need any other lights on. I shine one down the hallway towards the bedroom and one into the living room, and it's like we weren't even using any lights. And that thing fully charged, with both lights going, will run for about 13 hours.
That's how. So these things here. Now, if we turn this 65 watt incandescent light bulb off and turn this on, this is probably brighter than that. But if we turn the lights off, the normal lights in a room, in the living room off, this isn't brighter than that, but your eyes will adjust to it. Now, with that, I also have, I have jackets here. I have my outside jacket, like tornadoes come in, or I go fuck with the animals, or whatever. I can cut trees, I can do whatever and not worry about destroying a $600 Arc'teryx jacket. I have a jacket, it's got leather work gloves in it, it's got a beanie in it, and I keep Zipka headlamps, Petzl Zipka headlamps. I've got all kinds of fucking headlamps. I've got fucking $300 headlamps and shit. These Petzl Zipka LED headlamps, you can get them for $35-$40. They're literally about the size of your, they're small. I don't even know how to describe it. They're about third the size of a hockey puck probably. And it has a retractable lanyard. So you can pull it out, put it on, and man, you can read by those. You can navigate by them. It's got a high and a low on the LED. Highly recommend them. Highly recommend those things. So
Nobody knows what podcast this is.
Ah, fuck. I don't even know what
I think it's 21.
Nope. It's 22.
22. All right.
This is podcast 22, and the day is Wednesday. I know that because I've been to the gym twice today. January 23rd at 5:35.
2019.
2019. 20.
2020.
2020. How was your workout today?
It was all right.
Just okay?
Yeah,
I feel my back, man.
I don't know if I feel my back. I feel my legs.
I feel my back, and I feel that.
But you went twice.
Rope. That fucking rope.
You went twice, so.
But all we did was front arms and back arms. That's what they call it in jail or prison.
Front arms and back arms.
Yeah, bis and tris.
They don't know bis and tris in prison.
It's front arms or back arms. Somebody'd ask jail. I don't have any cool jail stories. I spent 2 years going to fucking college, and all my professors were Cal Poly professors. I do have a cool email. Dude email. I actually forgot to print out the rest of this. A dude said, I do not care when I get this order. We watch every one of y'all's podcasts.
There's that
y'all again. But he's from Tennessee.
Oh, so you're all right then.
And know very well how it works at SOE. We love the podcast and Skully.
Oh.
You too, John. But they said that in small letters. They said Skully all in caps.
You were in
quotes,
quotation marks. Though,
hyphens.
So,
what are those? Inside half circles.
Inside half circles.
I just placed another tiny order for my son's birthday gift. I waited way too late to order, and I know he will get it. I know he will not get it on his birthday, and that is not a problem at all. Could you please mention in a future podcast to Thomas Pearson that his old man ordered some really cool shit for him, and SOE for his birthday. I am not on social media, but I promise I run my mouth about the podcast, and I do not want it to go away. Sorry my order was so small, but I promise to order more as I can. You have some great shit. Thank you for being you. Joe Pearson, order number 140985. He ordered that. Order? That's a birthday present.
Oh, you can't say it because it's a birthday present.
Ordered in a multicam. We didn't have it, so I immediately saw this. Talked to him. We shipped it within 10 minutes. Well, 5 minutes after I saw this, we've already shipped it.
Oh, good. So happy birthday.
So his son is 23. He said, I emailed him back, said, when's his birthday? He said on the 29th. I believe he said 29th. He'll be 23. He's in the National Guard, or was in the National Guard. I believe he said Guard. So we've already shipped it. Your dad had some fucking cool shit to say about you. Definitely proud of you. And happy birthday. Actually, we sent you some extra shit. That's what that's that thing you signed.
Oh, okay. Cool.
I sent you Jeff's social security number and a copy of his signature and his ATM.
Buy something really cool if you're going to do it. I mean...
So I have 17 pages here.
We should have started earlier.
We'll be all right. You tell me when you're out of wind. And... Listen to Pulling the Thread, Skully and John, a podcast made in the motherfucking USA here. Oh, that's our shit. I forgot my pen.
Is that a prelude?
Yeah.
Is that just the opening?
41 comments.
Oh, shit.
I'm really loving the podcast. I've been sharing far and wide. Would love to hear some stories about building gear for the Hurt Locker. Everybody always says Jeremy Renner is cool as he can be. Jeremy Renner was very cool. I actually met Jeremy Renner. We probably talked for about 30 minutes outside in the hallway. All he wanted to talk about was taking his brother riding dirt bikes. Wanted to know if he could come down to Carlsbad and ride. That never did happen. But Jeremy was cool. I've told that story a bunch of times. So at the end here, we might go back to that. Story from Navy SEALs and other soldiers.
I wasn't in the Navy. Or the Army.
You got some Navy SEAL stories.
I don't have any.
How come
good
Navy SEALs always failed sniper school?
No, they didn't always fail sniper school. We graduated a bunch of Navy SEALs from sniper school. But we did drop some Navy SEALs from sniper school. Truth be told, and remember, I've been out of the military for 10 years. So...
Have been?
Yeah.
You've been out of the military longer than 10 years, my friend.
No, it's been about 10 years. 2008? 10 years, right?
This is 2020.
Yeah, so 11 years?
8. 2008, 9, 10.
Well, 2000 to 2018.
9, 10, 11. You've been out of the military
couple
for
of years.
11 years.
I've been out a couple years.
12.
I would say this. Actually, I've been out longer than that. I retired, I think, 2005. Didn't I?
Yeah, I
Maybe.
was a Strider for 6 years.
So I've been out of the loop for a while, so maybe things have changed. But in my time, in my era, the problem with Navy SEALs was, and I think I've said this before on the podcast, is you know, they have a hard Buds is hard. Don't get me wrong. I mean, they're smoke checking those guys, but they, unlike a lot of, well, I don't know, I couldn't speak for Green Berets, but unlike a lot of, especially unlike the Marine Corps, is when you go to when you decide you want to go to Force Recon, or you decide you want to go to MARSOC, or you want to do any of those things, you have to be fucking ready to go. Meaning, if you don't already know every fucking thing that's going to happen before you get there, and if you're not physically at the peak of your existence, you will not make it. You're done. You're not going to make it. Where, you know, SEALs, it is still very hard, don't get me wrong, but they gradually work into it. So they build the guy up to get to the point where they need him to be, okay? But the problem with Buds is they consider that the be-all, end-all. So if you graduate Buds and you get your Trident, that's the end of your training. Everything else is just cake. It's the reason why they go to all the civilian schools, because when they go to the real schools, you know, for instance, Ranger School. When they go to Ranger School, Rangers ain't got no time for some fucking Navy SEALs clowning Ranger School, even though that's what they want to do. Same thing with Jump School. Jump School ain't got no time for Navy SEALs clowning on Jump School, because they have young guys that they have to get through those programs. And while these SEALs have experience and training, they still have shit to learn. So, you know.
Or they wouldn't be at Jump School.
Yeah, or they wouldn't be at Jump School. But, you know. SEALs will always... Every time we did any MUSOC shit with Navy SEALs, there was always shenanigans. Always shenanigans. They never took the training... I don't want to say all of them. Like there was some great guys. There was 2 twins that I was in Somalia with that were from SEAL Team 8. And those fucking guys were squared the fuck away. I mean, 100% business. But even they would be like, yeah, every one of these, all these guys I'm with, because shit was happening where we're like, why the fuck did you guys do? He's like, they're clowns. They just want to clown off. So, you know, there's some solid SEALs out there. Darren Isham
and his
brother. There are solid SEALs out there, but you know, it's just that mentality of this is the end of our. I've graduated Bud, so I'm the best soldier there is, or best sea soldier there is.
Sea soldier. I never heard it called that. I immediately think of dude riding a giant seahorse.
I will tell you all the same thing. no matter how fucking cool you are, and how many ribbons you have on that uniform, no matter how many Navy SEAL stories you got, when you put your dress uniform on, you still got to put that fucking dog bowl on top of your head.
It's all the same. You're doing the same shit. It's just how you got there. Not really, but clear the Crisco off the rack. Bring Mookie on the podcast. Deplorable says. David Aranda says noise.
Mookie is in
Vegas
right now for SHOT Show.
Vegas. Really enjoying the podcast. For what it's worth, I liked when you did them in the kitchen. I think it brought more to the podcast with Chef and others injecting themselves in the conversation. The little bit of background noise was worth the camaraderie. Nathan Morgan. That's probably Chef's alias.
I bet it is.
We actually asked Chef to come in here. All the Chef's welcome anywhere we are.
Maybe we should have him come in here and cook. Like right here.
Hot plate.
Make us something. Some Vienna sausage, Crisco, Kool-Aid.
Nicholas Pinion. That's interesting to me about the Diet Pepsi can bring. That's interesting to me. Diet Pepsi can bring like that. I work for MCC Metal Container Corporation, a Bev or Budweiser company. We make cans for Bud, Pepsi, and Monster. If you don't know, the cans actually get a spray on the inside to protect the liquid from the aluminum taste and the can from being ate through. Beer has the lowest percentage, and with beer, it's to protect the beer flavor from the aluminum. Soda and energy drinks get a higher percentage of spray on the inside to protect the can from leaking. Diet Pepsi has the soda percentage, which is in the middle with energy drinks. Sunkist and Orange Crush have the higher percentage of spray in the aluminum because they will eat through it. That's the damn Nazis. Needless to say, it shouldn't do that. We call those leakers. Well, we had fucking hundreds of leakers.
Yeah,
we have so many leakers. We actually keep all the cans contained.
I will tell you this: whatever is in Diet Pepsi, compared to all the drinks, I mean, I could go out there and show you everything we have. We've got Coke, we've got Sprite, we got root beer, we got everything.
What? Because how did that happen? We had a party.
We have parties,
and Nick goes and bought and he bought like.
That weird shit he bought.
What was that?
That weird shit he bought is still here. Wait a minute. It's still here that he said, I bought it because I wanted to drink it. Where is it?
Great Value root beer?
No.
Beer.
Fuck.
I see Sprite, Obey Your Thirst. I see root beer.
Caffeine. You know what?
Who the fuck wanted caffeine-free root beer?
He might have taken it home. But there was that one thing of where everybody was like, who the fuck wants to drink that?
Yeah.
But we have all the flavors. We have generic brand stuff out there, kind of in root beer, real stuff, and it doesn't matter. Diet Pepsi, for whatever reason, and I know somebody's going to come and tell me it's because of the nasty chemicals in it, but Diet Pepsi will eat through those cans faster than any of the other drinks out there.
It is said, and I think it was a Mythbusters or something, some science TV show, if you take Coca-Cola.
Oh, you clean your toilet with it?
You can clean all kinds of shit with it. But if you take Coca-Cola and drip it, just one drip every 15 seconds. I don't know what the ratio was, but it actually ate a hole through fucking concrete. It eats a hole through glass. It's acidic. It eats shit. It literally fucking. That's how we're gonna get it. We're not gonna waterboard you. I'm just gonna fucking have I'm gonna walk every 10 seconds. I'm gonna drop a fucking thing of Coca-Cola on your forehead.
Coca-Cola?
Coca-Cola.
I'll die from the sugar before anything.
Not you.
Oh, then we're going to waterboard somebody else? It's so sticky. That's what you're going to hear.
People were like, can we waterboard somebody? We should do a waterboarding class. We'll get the information.
Why? Yeah. You're going to... That's the thing about when everybody was screaming and fucking stomping their feet about torture and, oh my God, waterboarding is torture.
We waterboarded Cody's mom. Lance did.
Waterboard is torture, blah, blah, blah. It is, you could say psychologically it's torture. But if it's done correctly, you're kind of technically, yes, you could actually drown somebody. But if they are doing it correct, you're actually not in any danger. You are creating the danger inside of your head in order to, and that's it. It's psychological. And here's the thing, when they were like, oh, we're waterboarding these guys, we're torturing them. Every fucking special operator Every fucking pilot. I mean, think about it. Every combat pilot has gone to SEER training, and they've all been waterboarded. And they have been doing it since the late 50s. So that's everybody. Everybody's been waterboarded. So when they're fucking talking about how this is the worst torture on it's not even close. Technically, the sleep deprivation is probably worse than waterboarding. It's also the best. If I can get, you want to come here and you want to stay a week, I can get you to tell me things that you don't even know just by keeping you up for a week. I mean, I will get you to do that, and then the next day I'll be like, hey, we're going to call your sister, Maria, on the phone and see if she wants to come have dinner. And you'll go, how do you know my fucking sister's phone number even though you gave it to me? I mean, that's kind of a common thing we used to do at sniper school, is we would run guys ragged for 4 days straight. So 4 days straight, no sleep, no food. They're doing long movements. They're having to do field exercises. And then we bring them back in the classroom. And we turn the heat up. And then we would take each individual guy in the class and put them in front of the class and have them explain something, have them explain something that they were good at before they joined the Marine Corps. Like, guys would give classes on how a battery works or how this type of plumbing works, and we'd have them do that class. They would have to give a class to all the students about something that they were good at prior to being a Marine. And then me and Sperling would start asking them questions. And we could get you would tell us anything we wanted to know, and then you wouldn't even know you told us. After that, they would get fucking rucked up, and they would go do the Trail of Tears. So the sleep deprivation is much better. You can get a lot of information from somebody when they are sleep deprived.
What about writing letters?
What do you mean?
Did you have them write letters?
We would have them do stuff like, draw a picture of a scout sniper or describe what a scout sniper mission does. And it's interesting when you're tired, people would do they would draw some crazy shit where you're like, this dude is out of his mind.
Yeah.
He is out of his mind. So you can get people to do just about anything. I mean, we had students who would be admitting to crimes that they had done when they were in high school, like some serious crimes. Like, I know your recruiter didn't hear about that. Like, they would be telling us all kinds of crazy shit. And then the next week, after by the time, that's Hell Week. When Hell Week was over, they got 72 hours. So basically from about noon on Friday to Monday, they're off. We make them stay in the classroom for 8 hours before they leave. So they get on the floor in the classroom, we turn the lights out, nobody can leave for 8 hours. Because we actually had students try and leave and crash their cars. And then the next week, when they're all bright and chipper, that's when we would start dropping the bombs on all the stuff that they had told us. And so it would come back to haunt them.
When sniper school would form up, when the new students would have a roster, we'd go out to sniper school and talk to all those dudes about gear and different shit. And then anybody that was on the roster active, we'd give them 20% discount. So, like, there was tons of fucking SOELB. Everybody had SOELBVs. There was a few dudes that would start with, like, the zip-up mesh vests, and then they'd come in and we'd fix them. And then, like, okay, you're shot, and fucking somebody would grab his partner, would grab him, and inevitably they'd rip the handle off, or the zipper would rip out. There was always some failure point. So we would fix it a few times, and eventually that dude would always end up buying an LBV. But it was an LBV, and then they'd want a hydro carrier, they'd want a butt pack, they'd want a subload, they'd want a holster. And then for honor grad and high shooter, we gave away $1,200. It was about $1,200. We gave both of those dudes a $1,200 package for the honor grad and the high shooter for every class. And then we go to graduation and shit. So It was pretty cool. We had kids come in. We had dudes come in and wanting to get the discount that were no longer on the roster. Like they fucking fall off the roster, and we generally hook them up anyways. But they were trying. Exotic car SOE podcast vlogs would be badass. Arizona is one of the real ID holdout states. You have to get a federal traveler's card or some shit to fly. I like stockroom podcasts. Any photos of Putin's butthole better be kept classified TS or SCI. No one needs to see that. It's probably abnormally red. So TS is top
I
secret.
guarantee you.
What is SCI? Secret clearance?
Yeah, secret something, whatever. I guarantee you, Putin's butthole is the perfect color that he wants it to be.
Yeah.
I just saw a thing today.
Putin's a man, whether you like him or not.
Yeah, I just saw a thing today where they were talking about Bill Gates, how much money Bill Gates has, and how much money Putin has, and why Putin makes Bill Gates look like a bitch. Putin is worth over, just think about this, Putin, $200 billion. He could do whatever he wants. He literally could. I'll bet right now.
He owns Russia.
I'll bet right now there is a dollar figure that he could give to Nancy Pelosi and she would give him a blowjob.
Plus,
I mean, it's just...
Wasn't he a mobster?
Well, no. Putin was...
SSB or...
Yeah, well, Putin... A lot of people may or may not know this, but Putin is actually a badass in the sense of when he came up as a youngster, he came up in the KGB. So he was actually an operator within the KGB. And then when the Soviet Union collapsed and they got rid of the KGB and started the FSB, he was the director of the FSB. As the director of the FSB, he did basically the same thing that that J. Edgar Hoover was trying to do. He created a power structure
without gloves.
Yeah, he created a power structure and got enough dirt on everybody that he will be president until he dies. I mean, even the oligarchs that we were talking about the other day, these are the billionaires within the Soviet Union that are within Russia that are allowed to operate because Putin allows them to operate. Just look up Putin and the oligarchs. Now these are billionaires, so they're in the same club as Putin. Now Putin, obviously, $200 billion is a club that I can't even imagine, what they serve in that club. But these other guys
you're eating pterodactyl eggs for breakfast.
Yeah, these other guys are billionaires, and the minute you're not towing the party line, the minute you come out and you go, you know what, I think I'm going to run for president, those billionaires disappear, gone. Putin takes care of it. He's a one-man show, man. He is fucking running Russia for. Whether it's going to be for the better or not, I mean, he's somebody definitely to reckon with. The motherfucker wrestles tigers, like literally wrestles tigers. Here's the interesting thing. There's these fucking. They're not Canadian geese, but they're these special Russian geese that they were trying to get to Siberia, and he wanted to take these geese to Siberia. There is actually a fucking photo of 5 of these geese flying in the air, and Putin in a fucking ultralight, trying to get these geese to go to fucking wherever they wanted them, right? That's too many F-bombs. Trying to get these geese to go wherever they wanted. The true story is, they had 50 geese on, I don't know what the Russian version is. It's a military transport plane, and when they flew to the area where they were going to, do this thing, only like 10 geese were left. They all died on the plane, but he still got in his ultralight and fucking flew to the thing. Putin's a badass. I mean,
speaking of Bill Gates, look up Bill Gates with the Agenda 21 stuff, the depopulation or lowering of the population of the United States, well, the world for that matter. The Bill Gates Foundation is huge on that shit. If there is an Agenda 21 in the UN, Bill Gates fucking speaks at every one of those things. Just look it up. Don't believe what we're saying. Again, just put in Bill Gates Agenda 21 and you will see Bill Gates personally speaking about that shit.
I mean, can you just... I can't even... $200 billion. Like
tiger.
200...
How was he wrestling a tiger?
He went out to a fucking reserve and wrestled a fucking tiger. Like, there's a picture of him wrestling a tiger with his shirt off.
I have one of those
He's
pictures.
fucking crazy. Putin is... I'm sure that the tiger was heavily sedated, but still.
Maybe not.
He's fucking off the charts.
Maybe not. Did you see the video of the dude in the tiger cage at the zoo getting fucking eaten by the fucking tiger?
No, I didn't see that
Did you
one.
see the man and woman hunting, posing with a fucking lion? And another lion comes out of nowhere and just fucking chomps her up. I don't know how real it was, but I mean, it was a video.
I used to have a series of pictures. Time Life published these pictures, and this happened had to have been in the early 90s. These photographers went up onto the ice floes in Antarctica
Polar bear.
to fucking take pictures of polar bears.
I want to go out on one of those big gnarly buggies.
And these guys are camping on 2 different pieces of ice. And the dude on the opposite piece of ice is taking a picture of this polar bear coming out of the water onto the ice floe that his buddy is. And so you have a picture of it coming out, and then it's getting closer to the tent, and then it sticks his head in the tent, and then it pulls dude out. He's in a sleeping bag, and he pulls sleeping bag out. He gets a picture of dude in sleeping bag coming out, and then he has a picture of dude sitting up in sleeping bag, and then he's got a picture of the polar bear going like this with his hand like this. And then the next picture is that fucking sleeping bag going into the water. The fucking polar bear hit him just one time, just a little tap, killed him, and fucking ate that dude. Probably thought he was a big seal. I bet he was so disappointed when he fucking started munching on that sleeping bag, and he's like, "What the fuck is all this?"
John, it's only been out about a week, depending on when you read this. Since you've got your pellet injections again, are you noticing a big change from using the supplements? Do you notice a difference?
You know, I want to say that I noticed. This is what I think. I want to say day one, I noticed a difference. You were happier and giddier and kind of moving around a lot faster. But that had to have been placebo. It couldn't have been it just had to have been the fact that I got my shit, I'm good to go. Let's go. Outside of that, you seem kind of just, I don't want to say you just seem more level, I guess.
You know what I think it is? I think that I'm working fucking harder. Because I'm working out twice a day. I think I'm using it up. I'm fucking tired. Like, by the time we get in here, I am fucking tired. And then I get kind of a second wind at about 6, 7 o'clock. And I'm like, I think I'm gonna go to sleep early tonight, like at 11. And I might even be in bed by 10:30, but fucking 1 o'clock, I'm like, I guess I better turn this shit off. I'm fucking need to get some sleep. And then at 5:30, the alarm goes off. And I've been waking up, man, wide awake at 4 o'clock every fucking morning. So I'm sleeping like 4 hours, and then I toss and turn to 5:30. I think I am getting more done, and I think that I'm using every bit of energy I have, and just I'm fucking beat. Like right now, if I laid down right now, I wouldn't wake up till tomorrow probably.
I don't believe that one bit. You'll have a live feed tonight.
Thoughts on the SAS dude in Nairobi taking charge and saving lives, having to work around incompetence, and did you have any relatable experiences?
How in the fuck?
Did he just happen to be there?
No. How in the fuck does he get those huge balls in those tight, skinny jeans? Fucking gangster. Whoever that guy is, it's a fucking gangster. And I'm telling you, like, I can't even imagine him going back to whatever regiment or whatever group he's in. Because they're just going to be like, what the fuck, dude? You couldn't wait 5 minutes?
So what happened?
Oh my god, these...
Were they bank robbers or what was
No, they're real terrorists.
As real as a terrorist can be in Africa.
Yeah, they were real terrorists. So these fucking real terrorists go into this, I think it was a hotel, maybe, or...
What were they after? Hostages?
Yeah, just to fucking... Because this is actually...
So like Somali pirates.
This is kind of actually the second... I'm sure it's happened more. I'm sorry, Kenya, if I'm saying this wrong. I'm sure it's happened more, but they had a big mall one where... The cops kind of Kenya police kind of didn't know what they were doing, and so these fucking terrorists just spent hours in there just walking around shooting people. So I am sure that this SAS guy is a response to that, meaning there was
a briefing.
There's dudes.
They knew this was
There
coming.
are dudes that are just driving around town all the time with all their shit, and
like
so
SIS.
So when the actual Kenyan authorities responded to this, they kind of did the same thing. They weren't going into the building, and basically SAS guy shows up and he's just like, "This is me, bro. I'm going in," and he went in and fucking smoked all those dudes.
There's a bunch of videos. I don't know if they were filmed as a TV show or just a YouTube thing. There are some South African dudes rolling around like a fucking squad of them. Like, I mean, just like waiting. They're like just following these criminals or smugglers or whatever, and just getting in gunfights and fucking just killing them and leaving them in the fucking streets. I mean, it is some shit.
Yeah, there's some of that going on.
There's some of these gunfights that are on video. Holy fuck!
But man, that SAS guy fucking balls, huge balls. So he killed the fuck out of those guys.
So what was the little skinny handing him? Fucking with the paperwork afterwards.
That was probably like
some bullshit.
Some bullshit about, hey,
you can't discharge your firearm.
You can't discharge your firearm in here or some shit.
Security.
Yeah, I'm sure in Kenya they're like Kenyan police officers kill terrorists, even though they have all the pictures of this dude fucking going in there and whacking them.
Nick Bolton says, and I'm not sure who this is, maybe Primo. Look. I'm ready to move back to Tennessee. I'm a certified welder. I'm a fabricator. ASE certified mechanic. So let me just stop right there. Like, if you're all that shit, why the fuck do you want to come work here?
Yeah.
I can build anything construction-wise. You give me the material to build, including electrical and plumbing. I don't do concrete or sheetrock, though. I hate that shit.
Concrete and sheetrock is what we need.
I can fix anything mechanical, period. If someone built it, I can tear it apart and build it back better. And I ran a Tahima sewing machine for 2 years. I have every fucking brand of sewing machine out there, but I don't have a Tahima. I can't say I've ever heard of that. Make it worth it, and I'll pack the kids' bags tomorrow.
I have an M151 that's totally torn down. Then me and my son were going to put back together, and then I moved down here. If you want to come put that together for me.
This is who I thought walked in the door today.
Oh. We had somebody pack all his shit and just show up here.
He's here now.
He's out there working.
I don't even know. I don't even want to know his name for 6 weeks. John, you've mentioned riding bikes. What was the worst accident injury you've had with all the nice toys? Why no bikes in the garage? Side note: saw a Jelly Roll video. Dude was wearing an SOE hoodie. So that's David Ray. That's our friend from Eye for an Eye. Him and John Connor, all those guys have a bunch of SOE gear. They come out to all of our parties. They've played our parties. The Tools to Survive, the SOE theme song at the beginning of a lot of our videos, that is David Ray and John Connor and Stump. That's Eye for an Eye did that song for us. There are a ton of bikes out in the garage. There's 6 or 7 right now. There's a shop up. I've got a bunch of motorcycles, street bikes and dirt bikes, and like dual sports and shit. Worst injury, probably 20 feet up in the air. Nose down from 20 feet up in the air. Landed front wheel, pile drived into the ground with the motorcycle. I had helmet marks from the rear tire somehow all across my helmet. Snapped pinky finger, ring finger, and the side of the hand. Had 6 pieces of metal put in.
Fuck up your hand.
Had no range of motion for almost a year and a half. I could not completely bend my fingers. That's all back. That happened in 8th, 9th grade maybe. Luckily, I had a hand surgeon who worked on all of the San Diego Chargers. I don't know if you guys know how they do that shit, but look up like Opera operating theater. Nowadays they literally use DeWalt power tools or Makita power tools. Back then it was plug-in shit, and it was just stainless steel fucking drills. Like, you see that shit before they fuck you up. So that's really the worst one.
He's got tons of motorcycles, but they're at a secondary location. And truth be told, he won't tell you this. Once you get razors, there's no reason to ride a motorcycle, because then you won't fucking get hurt.
We have literally we have flipped the razors end over end like 3 times consecutively. We've dropped the razors out of the fucking air. Like, we've got some pretty modified razors, some of them. Like, you know, race stuff. Like, $16,000 in suspension kind of shit. You walk away from that shit. Not only do you walk away from it, I can carry a second person, or in the 4-seater I can put 4 people. We can carry gear, but like, you literally walk away. Like, we have had crashes where we have broken the whole wheel into 3 pieces, cracked the radiator in half, like literally broken the car in 2 pieces. Like, how the fuck are we gonna get this in the trailer? And you unclip your harnesses and take your helmet off, and you walk away from that shit. Short of it catching on, we've had one on fire, like on fire. On a dirt bike, man, it's a helicopter ride to a hospital or a trauma center.
Yep.
That's the real deal.
So buy your kid a razor.
Right, and a razor, like, once you run a razor, like, we use I rode the 4-wheelers here yesterday. Like, we use them here, moving feed around and shit like that. But a razor, like, invest in razors, man. Unless you want your kid to go racing or something, that's an easy way to come up. Well, not easy, but it's a good way to get started in racing, is dirt bikes. But with a razor, and living here where we live, like, you can ride a razor fucking everywhere. And I rode dirt bikes fucking a lot. Like, I rode with dudes that you see on all the fucking TV shows and all the movies and shit. I rode with a lot of those dudes, but they're all fucking pretty broken. I mean, like, fucking pretty broken, most of those guys. Speaking of Algeria, I worked with a dude from Algeria. Before he flew home, we put a bottle of bacon bits in his bag. He found them before he got to the airport. He texted me and told me that he could have been beheaded for that. I told him it was a risk I was willing to take. What the fuck?
Yeah, you can do some silly shit. We used to, in Somalia, that's the only MREs we would give out, is the MREs that have pork in them. It's actually a misnomer about pork, which I don't know why they perpetuate it. Muslims can eat pork. It's solely based on how it's prepared, and if there is nothing else, they can eat pork. All that is in the Quran. The reason why, if you look at the Old Testament, even the Bible, okay, and if you're Jewish and you don't eat pork because of those, it has to do with the fact that at the time those books were written, people ate pork and fucking died because they didn't prepare it right. They didn't cook it enough. So that was the big thing. It's all about how it's prepared. And, like I said, even in the Quran, it says you can eat pork. It's just, we would rather you not eat pork. Why? Because we don't want you to fucking die.
John, you mentioned the Chinese folks coming up from South America to cross into the United States. You said you could come work for you if they want to work. I totally understand. I have a business in D.C. area. Fuck, man, I'm sorry. And it is literally
fucking taxes.
Literally impossible to find Americans that want to work. I do have Americans that work for me, but mostly do admin stuff. To find an American who will work in the field is like finding a unicorn. It may be possible, but super rare. Most American painters I have hired never showed up or show up late and intoxicated on one thing or another. I work in high-end apartments and do a lot of it myself, but as business has grown, I have struggled to find good employees. Everyone I know who owns a business is in the same boat. What is your guys' opinion on what this is caused by, and why do Americans not want to work?
Well, I say this all the time. It's because they're comfortable.
Because fucking
we've created a system of comfy. They're comfortable.
Comfort builds complacency.
If you're on welfare and you have a refrigerator that works, and you have a TV that works, and you have an air conditioner that works, and you're still using Obama's phone, what the fuck are you going to go to work for? They've created it.
Bare minimum people. They've
created this. They've created this social structure that does not require people to have to better themselves. They don't have to. I mean, that's the problem here. People don't have to better themselves, even though internally just as human beings, we want to. We want to better our position in life. That's internally, and that's the reason why you have all the drug problems that you do, because we've created this situation where people think that work is bad, and if the government's going to give me a check, then why should I go to work? For a lot of people, truth be told, going to work. So if and I believe that's the way it is out here. If you decide tomorrow, fuck this welfare, fuck these food stamps, I'm going to go to work, and you go to Walmart and get you a job, you're going to get paid less by going to Walmart.
Welfare pays too much.
Than if you were on the government dole. So why go to work? Why do I need to do that? We've lost that.
They want you on the systems too.
Yeah, they want you on the system. It's all part of it's all part of the plan to keep you in line. As long, if you're getting it, it's like all these. Think about all these federal workers that are out of work right now, or not getting paid. They're on the tether. That's what they're using as the bait, is those workers, to get what they want. They're all getting paid. Everybody in Congress is getting paid.
People don't have patience. They don't want to put in the time, and they don't want to put in the work to get the advancement to be. So if they're getting a check for $1,100 for the state, they're going to have to work fucking hard at Walmart or whatever their entry-level job is to surpass the $1,100. Really, I wouldn't be mad at you if you're on the fucking system and you start a fucking side hustle and you take that $1,100 and you fucking flip it into $2,200 and $4,400 and $8,800. Fucking have some fucking initiative. Like, okay, you're on the system. Fucking go do something else. Fucking make some money. People are not, there's no level of discomfort. Like, they've never been fucking hungry. They sleep on fucking mattresses. They have running water. Like, they've never fucking not seen that shit.
Take a look at the Hoover Dam. When you take a look at the construction of the Hoover Dam, look at some of the old pictures. At the bottom basin, the shanty town got built. There was a shanty town that got built, and there were thousands of people in this shanty town. I'm talking people in tents, cardboard boxes, thousands of people in this shanty town. The reason why the shanty town got built, and the reason why all those people were sitting down there fucking starving, was they were waiting for somebody to die. They were waiting for somebody to fall off a crane. They were waiting for somebody to get fucking smashed into concrete. They were waiting for somebody to drown. Because that was a job that was going to open up, and they were going to get that job so they could get their fucking family out of poverty.
Think about it. Our homeless today have cell phones.
Yeah.
Like, they have, like, they want you on the systems, and it is too fucking easy. And it's nobody wants to fucking put the work in. They get up on Monday and they're like, oh, it's fucking Monday. And then on Wednesday, they're like, oh, God, thank God it's hump day. And then on Friday, they're like, thank God it's Friday. They just fucking meandered through the fucking week. They didn't excel. They didn't do anything. When they got home, they put their feet up. They didn't fucking make anything. If you hate your job so much, fucking build something. Like, I guess it just comes down to fucking people aren't fucking hungry.
I think it's just that we have made things too comfortable.
And we made that. We made that. If you go out and your kids fucking do shitty shit, I mean that falls on me.
We have made our lives too comfortable. It's kind of like that thing the other day that somebody was talking about. If they finally pass a law that says turn your guns in, all the keyboard warriors are going to be standing in line turning their guns in. The reason why is because they're comfortable. Even though if the government says turn your fucking guns in, at that point you have to make a choice. You have to make a choice on being unfucking comfortable. Because if you decide that you're going to put that fucking rifle, you're going to sling that rifle on your back, and you're going to fucking go to Washington, D.C. and say, fuck you, take it. You've just made yourself very uncomfortable. I mean, you hope that there's 20,000 people standing there with you doing the same thing, but chances are it's not going to be like that. So, I'm saying everybody's going to take the fucking easy route and be like, well, fuck it, I don't really need an AR-15 anyways.
Shit, here in Phoenix, there's a street named Baseline Road that goes in a straight line for 45 miles. and not once will you see a house or a business. The guy from the UK wouldn't believe it if he saw it. Yeah, he was talking about how he can't listen to the podcast. He didn't have time on the way to work, that is. I know who killed Kennedy. CSM. Just watched the X-Files. What's CSM?
Well, I'm assuming you mean the Command Sergeant Major. I don't know. I don't know who CSM is, but I'm sure. Yeah, I'm sure they did an episode about who killed Kennedy.
The pedo is Jerry Epstein.
Yeah, Jeffrey Epstein, out of Florida. Look that motherfucker up if you want to hear some crazy shit.
Jerry Epstein. Yeah.
He got.
He owns an island called Lolita Island.
Yeah, Lolita Island, the Lolita Express airplane. We kind of talked about this before, but really, really look that up.
It's not hard to find. He means really take a second and go do it. For real. That's what
just go look it up. He got... and
16 months.
The Miami Police Department had 80 credible accounts of him having sex with minors. They have documented cases of grooming where he paid young girls, to go out and find other young girls to bring those girls back to his place. Open shut case. Dude should have went to jail for the rest of his fucking life. But he's in a different club than we are. The federal government gave him such a sweetheart deal that people were actually thinking about trying to assassinate the dude.
Police officers.
Yeah, because he got 16 fucking months in a minimum security facility in a wing of the facility where there were no other prisoners. Okay, think about that. Minimum security in a wing of the prison where there were no other prisoners. And guess what they did every single day? They released him for 12 hours for work furlough, where he immediately went home. So you only get a deal like that if you have some shit on some serious people. I am surprised that when he got picked up, that Hillary did not have him killed.
Yeah.
Because
Bill Clinton, they say Bill Clinton was on that plane 23 fucking times.
Yeah, Hillary and Bill went to the island.
There's pictures of them together. On the island, on the plane, fucking news conferences. Like, there are tons of fucking photos and video of them together.
Here's something to think about.
That's all part of Pizzagate.
Here's something to think about. He was a known entity in the Millionaire Club. He was actually a billionaire. He was a billionaire back in the fucking 90s. He was a known entity in those circles. President Trump actually banned him from his club. Because he was bringing underage girls to the club. And so Trump's like, fuck you, dude. Take that shit somewhere else. Which means if Trump knew, then so did fucking Hillary. So did every other fucking billionaire that he hung out with. They knew what his strange thing was. He wasn't keeping it a secret. So that's why he got that. That's why he got that deal. He got some dirt on some people that. Just look that shit up.
Micro Roney from CAA.
The Ronin. It's a chassis that you can put a Glock in and make a Glock in.
Okay. He says the Micro Roney now has a stabilizing brace, which we can shoulder. He said. And he said, "Is the corner shot like the Micro Roney?" I'm not sure.
It's kind of similar in the sense that you put your firearm in it, except the corner shot is, man, it's almost the size of an M4. It's big. It's not little like the Ronies.
Laura Bradshaw, thanks for putting the pedo story out there. Very pleasing. You guys are aware and spreading the truth. That's why we call this pulling the string. That's what I always say. Like, look it up. There's a little tiny string hanging there, and when you pull it, it's like your grandma's sweater that she knitted you. You know, when you pull it, it doesn't take long, and that fucking sweater's gone, and you're back to a piece of thread. And that's what this is, like like the pedo thing. If you look that up, you're gonna see other shit. David Ickel, I think it's David. If you look at any of the Agenda 21, any of the conspiracy theory stuff, you will start to find that there are very, very reputable people saying the same thing. But when they present it with evidence. Like we say Hillary Clinton is friends with fucking, what's his name? Well, I can tell you that all day long, but when I give you a link to a fucking video of her standing with him saying that, he's her best friend and shit, that's what you call evidence. And that's how all this shit is. And the Pizzagate stuff, and the child sex trafficking shit, like, if you look around, the FBI says there are basically 6 logos. You've seen all these logos. You don't know what they mean because you're not in that fucking club. And when you start looking at the secured server and the emails from Hillary Clinton talking in code, walnut sauce, and I'm bringing some hot dogs, and I'm bringing some cheese pizza. That's code for little boys and little girls. Walnut sauce, and I'm bringing some walnuts. Those are black children. I'm bringing black children. And they're talking about fucking crazy shit. Like, you just have to go look for yourself. When we tell you, it sounds so fucking far out there. But there's a lot of fucking, like, real people. Not just dudes, like government fucking officials. When Trump said that, the pedophile shit, that's who he was fucking talking about. Like, that's what that shit's about. So, Laura, like, why do you know about it? Do you know somebody that was fucking involved in that? Are you an investigator of some sorts, or you just, watch a lot of YouTube videos like I do? Shoot Steel is only a couple of hours from me. I did not know that until I ordered targets from them, and I got the email with the invoice. I saw the city and county tax. I actually thought to myself, the internet tax thing was getting out of hand. I think the internet tax thing's real, though. I think that's here or very soon on the way.
Yeah, the government's always looking for a way to get into your pocket. They're always going to get it. If you have something going on where there's not a government tax on it, they're going to figure out a way to get that tax. And most places they're already doing it. Like, you can't California, like Amazon and all them have to fucking collect taxes for California if they want to do business in there. So
I believe they're doing it now here.
Yeah, they'll get you. They're going to get their money.
Because Amazon has a hub here. So I believe when we buy from Amazon, I believe Amazon collects tax in all 50 states now.
Yeah, they're going to get the government's going to get their money. And you just think about that. It's not their money. It's not their money. They have no fucking right to your money. I know what you're going to say is, well, what about fire departments? What about police officers? What about
property taxes?
National defense? Look how much money they're getting. If you want to itemize it like that, itemize it like that. Let's talk about how much it costs the government to actually operate. Just like I said the other day, one F-35 fighter costs as much as the entire United States Marine Corps. Just one.
Not only that. Let's talk about road taxes. Let's talk about federal interstate road taxes. The road taxes you pay right now for things right now in 2000 to 2010 to 2019. Do you know that you're still paying taxes from when you're still paying taxes that were put on the books in the 1950s and the 1930s? Do you know you still pay those taxes from back then? When they made a new encompassing tax that included all that shit and then way beyond, they didn't ever negate that old tax. That was never canceled. There's a dude, Jack Spirko had a dude on about Texas seceding from the Union. And that dude is a tax guy. And he had a fucking ton of crazy shit I had never fucking heard. And his math, not his math, but the math he put forward said that over 35% of your taxes, if you took away and just fucking nixed those old laws from the books and those old regulations and those old taxes, 35% of that money would go away because there's already a new, bigger, bolder fucking tax that also does that. Like, you were paying so much fucking redundant shit over and over. And imagine, too, if your taxes, if you had 500 things, right? When you pay your taxes, you get to fucking say where your tax money goes. It gets to go to roads, or it gets to go to, fucking probation. Like, wherever. Imagine if you could designate where your tax money went. Imagine what department comes to mind. I don't have one in mind, but what department immediately would come to your mind that would just cease to exist? And would it affect your life in a negative or a positive manner? Like, just think about that. Skully, do you own any machine guns? John, if you got your rights back, what is the first gun you would buy?
I do not own any machine guns. I have not gone down that road. First off, the
Expensive to
they're just so. I'm not. If I could get an M60 machine gun, I would buy one. I'm not concerned about
Why not get a
putting the bullets in there, because here's the thing: even a semi-automatic M60 machine gun is 8 to 10 grand.
Rock Island, right?
Yeah, 8 to 10 grand. Even semi, full auto, forget about it. Forget about it.
It has to be pre-68 or
it
something.
has to be pre-68, but
here's the thing.
dealer
sample, a dealer start a business.
Well, we'd have to start it. That's just a fucking headache. But here's the thing. In the 90s, it became real. So you used to be able to get a machine gun for actually nothing. I have a really good friend who got a Lewis machine gun, brand new, for $34 fucking dollars.
Back in the
day,
Ranger Rick and Boy's Life in the back.
Back in the day,
when Jeeps were $5.
You used to be able to get them real cheap. It wasn't a very, I don't know, it wasn't chic. But in the 90s, law firms started buying up machine guns as assets. So people are using them. So people, instead of saying, hey, I have this cool Uzi machine gun, we're going to go out to the desert and shoot a bunch of tin cans, are buying them and holding them as assets. So the price on those fucking things are unrealistic. It's why a lot of guys, like John was just saying, a lot of guys will go the SOT route and they'll just start making machine guns, because if you go that route and you get, say, I don't know, your local law enforcement to send you a paper that says, hey, we would really like to shoot a 240 Gulf, then you can actually make that machine gun and demo it and keep it in your collection until you die, and then it gets cut up, or until you're done with it and you cut it up. First off, I've lived in California most of my life, so that's not even an option in California. You don't have an option unless you are one particular person who builds sniper rifles in Los Angeles. You don't even have an option to get a machine gun in California, just like suppressors.
And even him fucking.
Yeah. One of the first things I did out here I did drag my feet on it. I do have a suppressor. I did get one when I got here. I got a really nice one. And I'm thinking about doing the paperwork. And when I say I got one, I did the federally regulated paperwork. I submitted my 4 fucking pictures, my 4 fingerprint cards. They looked at my shit and approved me to have it. The feds did. So I have a $200 tax stamp. If you're not in the know, maybe I should bring it in and show it to you. It's funny that they are still using an actual stamp.
It's like a mailing stamp.
Like, I got my paperwork back, and there's an actual stamp, like,
somebody licked it.
Hey, somebody licked this and put this on here. This is like a real thing. It's pretty cool. So they actually send you a real stamp, which I thought was interesting. I have some more suppressors. I have some more suppressor paperwork sitting at the Fed right now. I'm thinking about doing a couple of SBRs, totally legal through the system. Just, it's kind of like right now with the pistol brace. There's not really a reason to. I would like to SBR my Uzi so I could have a short barrel on there, and then maybe the P90. But that's, I got other fish to fry. But yeah, no machine gun, because they're just too expensive, man. I mean, a fucking an M60, because that's probably the closest you could get to a saw, because you can't have a saw because it's post 86. Man, that thing's 30-40 grand.
What would I get?
What would you get? Well, you would get. What would you get? I don't know what you would get outside of the consecutive having a fucking coffee table made out of HK91s.
I'm just gonna have Galotech come in. I'm not gonna buy some Galotech shit. Galotech is going to come here with a truck and build a Galotech room.
Galotech room, yeah.
And then we're just gonna fill it with guns. I really like the DSA arms fucking parafoul.
Yeah, those are really cool.
I like the fucking
DSA are really cool.
When I shot those fucking parafouls, you knew which of your teeth had fucking fillings in them when you shoot a short barrel 308 rifle.
Yeah.
I really liked. Remember ZM Industries? They had a side folding AR.
I don't remember.
back in the day. Fucking when we were in
You can
Cali.
still get them now, though. They have a bunch
Those
of
are
adapters for side folders.
We have a lot. Like I have friends at FN. Like I can get FN shit that your normal dude's not going to be able. We have friends at a lot of companies. When that day comes, we will have access to a lot of stuff that you're not going to be able to just get through your. We got a lot of buddies that are high level collector stuff. I really could give a shit about the gun stuff. The gun stuff is just so that I can go, hey, fuck you, all those dudes. Remember when you were talking shit? Here's fucking a rack of the exact same gun that costs more than your fucking house. That's what that's all about.
If John gets a room full of guns, I promise you, I will shoot more of those guns than he will.
Everybody's like, you can't have a gun. Well, goddamn it, you don't own a fucking island, motherfucker. I do. like what? So whatever. Tell the story about we have a friend who is a machine gun manufacturer in Los Angeles, where you cannot be a machine gun manufacturer. He has a concealed weapons permit that nobody fucking has in
Los Angeles County.
Beverly Hills.
Nobody can get a concealed weapons permit.
He somehow got stopped. How did that tell that story?
I think he was. I think he was speeding. He's a bit of a lead foot or whatever, and he got pulled over by. It had to been LAPD direct. It couldn't have been the sheriff's department because everybody knows in the sheriff's department. So LAPD guy pulled him over,
and he builds fucking gear for it. He builds equipment for those dudes.
LAPD pulls him over. He's got a gun in the car. He gets his phone out.
He tells him he has a gun in the car.
Well, he gets his before the officer, as the officer's approaching the car, he gets his phone out and he gets to his speed dial list and goes to number. I believe he said he's number 3 on the list.
The mayor. What?
Goes to number 3 on the list, who is. I want to say he was the deputy. I can't remember what they call it. The number 2 at LAPD, anyways. He's got it on the thing, and kid comes up to the car, license and registration, and he hands him his license and registration and his concealed weapons permit. And the cop's like, "You got a gun?" Goes to his gun like he's gonna fucking start shooting away. He's like, "I just gave you my permit. Yes, I have a gun in the car." And he's like, cop's looking at the permit, and he goes, This is bullshit. You're gonna need to step out of the car." And he's like, "It's not bullshit. It's a legit permit." And the cop says, "We don't issue these. They don't exist." Well, Mike's probably had his. I'll bet Mike's had his for
don't say his last name.
20 years. I mean, I'll bet he's had that thing for. I'll bet it's been longer than 20 years, man. How long has he been doing that shit?
Fucking
yeah. So he's had his. I mean, his permit was probably etched. His permit was probably stone. That's why the guy was weirded out about it, because that's how long he's had it. And so he's weirded out about it, and the cop's like, "No, fuck you. We don't issue these things. This is fake. Get out of the car." And so Mike is like, he just pushes the thing, and he goes, "You're going to want to answer this call because it's your boss." And he's like, "You're fucking full of shit. It's not my boss." And, he did the same thing that any Marine would do if the commandant was on the other end, like, snaps to attention, and he's like, "Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I'm sorry for the inconvenience, sir. You are free to go.
Here's a $100 bill. Dinner's on me.
You are free to go. Please, please, please don't let me lose my job over this." Yeah.
That's a dude like, you see in the movies and there's some shit happening, some really bad shit's about to happen to you, but you have a friend and you make a phone call and then all that shit goes away. Like, that's that dude. That's that guy. Any jail stories? When's the book? I'm not writing a fucking book. You know when I'll write a book? When somebody writes a book. You take all this shit. You have a book. You just have to transcribe it and send it to me and let me read it, and we'll have a book.
You could do that. Fuck, man, you don't fucking.
I'm not.
Dick Cheney didn't write his own book. He has ghost authors and shit.
Jail story. I don't. As far as jail stories, I've told all the jail stories. I don't have any like cool. Fucking, we didn't have a tunnel. They didn't give us little fucking
you
rock
didn't have a
pits.
tunnel?
They didn't give us they actually flew prostitutes in for us on a once a month if you were good. They are right. Pedophiles should not be shunned. They should be shot. We should bring back public hangings for pedophiles and child abusers. A good public hanging, like if you could have a good fucking court square murdering, like if you could corporal punish your employees. If you could have if you could take a crackhead and just hang one up there, I mean,
Do you? So
The problem is it never stops there.
look up public hangings, or look up just look up public hangings.
1987 was the last guillotining in France.
Yeah, but just look up public hangings. You think so in your head? I don't know what you're thinking, but in your head, I'm guessing you're thinking
There's a lot of
we
science
stopped,
and math.
but we stopped doing public executions because it's just inhumane and people couldn't stand for it. The truth be told
You could
is
sell tickets to that motherfucker.
Yeah. The truth be told is the reason why they got rid of why countries phased out public executions was because the crowds were getting bigger and bigger. People were actually enjoying themselves at these things, and the people in power don't want you to be. They don't want you to be at ease with just fucking.
That.
They don't want you to be at ease with public execution because one day it might be them out there. So it had nothing to do with. Oh, we don't want the gore of it all. Man, they had I think the last public execution in France, they had well over 100,000 people go to this public execution. Meaning people went to go see this public execution that had no hopes of seeing this public execution. It just turned into a party. That's why they got rid of public executions, even here in the United States.
Look up guillotines. Look up U.S. budget and guillotine. Just put those words in. United States budget and guillotine, and see what comes up under that.
That's just for zombies, though.
Yeah. You can. I believe that Obama actually fucking spoke. I believe there's some video of him talking about guillotines. You guys are awesome. I just got off work and got the notification. Great timing. I'll have to order a belt or something soon. It's been a long time since I got an SOE box to my front door. You want to go ahead and stop this?
We're over an hour. I think.
Are we? Because we're not even halfway through these, so we'll save these for tomorrow.
We'll save this for tomorrow.
All right, guys. We've still got shit to do, and then I've got this stack here. So thank you for putting comments in. We will get to these other ones for sure. We might just record 2 podcasts tomorrow and put up an extra one or something. You'll probably get some different energy earlier in the day. Anyways.
Yeah, we got some good ones in the kitchen.
Yeah. Plus, there's a video. We have a whole nother video that we did record in the kitchen today. Yeah. So, all right, guys. Thanks for listening. That's it. I really have to pee.
I do too.